Trust what you say and that's all okay. But everything starts to feel like a con, and I'm the pawn. Am I right or wrong?
This week we're going to head back up to Alberta once again, but this time in the springtime. Last year Sharon and I had an amazing black bear hunt, and we thought it would be awesome to take our son Little Dud with us this year for his first ever black bear hunt. And I can promise you, although he's only 13, this little guy is going to have a hard time ever beating this last trip to Alberta.
Select Hunter. Select UA Package. Select Point. Select Transport. Select Accuracy Package. Select Nikon Optics.
I've used Yamaha Rhinos for years and years, and bear baiting is just one more example of why you need a machine this tough to get in these kinds of places.
Hey everybody, the weather decided to go a bit nicer, so we decided to come back in here. The big boar that could have had a couple seconds longer and it would have been mine, but let's hope he comes back. He was huge. I was really disappointed that he got away. And we're just gonna see if he comes back on a sow. Just cross your fingers for me, because it worked on my buck and my gator.
He's done. He's done.
Oh my God.
Buddy, he just had a world-class bear. Perfect shot.
Oh my God. We're up here in Alberta, just with Red Rill Outfitters. Just 2 days ago, I thought I missed the bear of a lifetime. But we came back the next morning, got in the tree stand, waited 6 hours, and here he comes. I nicknamed him Brick for how muscular he is. So I make a perfect shot. He runs about 35 yards and just crashes dead. We waited the next morning and got him all cleaned up. So I wanted to show you guys how big he is. Just knock on. Yo. Yo.
On that same night that Little Dud shot Brick, we had to wait a while before the crew came in to get us, and if you can believe it, another awesome color bear ended up coming in. And this is just a true testament that when the timing's right and the sows are in heat, you just never know what kind of opportunities you're going to get.
Can't get the right angle.
One thing that's really important for anyone shooting lower poundage is that you always make sure that you have a good shot angle, because especially on something as dense as a bear, you really need to have the right shot angle in order to get penetration. And one thing that's really amazing about the Little Dud is that he's always patient to make a good shot, to pull through with his release and wait for the perfect angle so that he can make sure the arrow hits the right spot.
Oh, I got it. You believe it? 2 colored bears, 2 colored black bears. I mean, it's just unbelievable hunt. It's been really fun. And thanks, Dad, for bringing me down here to Alberta. It's just so fun.
Be sure to visit knockonarchery.com to see our entire line of knock-on lifestyle clothing, as well as some awesome knock-on gear and accessories that I personally take to the field myself. Enter promo code SHOWFAN and I'll include a free signed photo. Also remember that all U.S. orders over 100 get free shipping. knockonarchery.com.
Dead Center.
On this week's Dead Center, I'm going to talk about an important piece of your archery, and that's your release aid. And this is actually a question that I get most of all from all of you guys that visit us on Facebook. A lot of you guys ask, what release is that Sharon and Little Dud are using? And the release that they use and the release that I try to focus all my students towards that are struggling with target panic is the Carter Evolution. This is a release aid that Jerry Carter came up with years ago that I have absolutely just embraced into the archery community, because this release is really the missing puzzle piece for all those people out there that don't understand what a perfect shot execution and an unanticipated shot is. Now, what makes the Carter Evolution different than any other release out there is that this release does not function from either moving a trigger or rotating it. This release fires from increased pressure as you pull against the wall of your cam. And how you do that is you would have to take your bow, pull it back with the bow scale, and see what your weight is at full draw, because as many of you know, with a compound you have let off, so what you pull is not what you hold. In most cases, let's say you have 15 pounds of holding weight at full draw. Well, then what you would do with this release is you would adjust the screw in the back of the release so that when you pulled on a scale and got to about 20 pounds, that this release would then fire. So what that does is it makes you draw your bow, come to your anchor, let off your safety, and then pull for an extra 5 pounds until this release fires. Now, Sharon and Little Dud have started on this release since their very first arrow. They've never had to factor in target panic or any type of anxiety, because they have been coached since day one with this release, and they've been taught that it's okay for your pin to sit in the middle of the target as you continue to pull on this until it fires. This is a release that I think anyone out there who's struggling with target panic should really consider committing themselves to, because if you put some time in with it, it's going to completely change how you shoot the game of archery. I can promise you that. It might take you going to your local retailer or an archery coach to make sure that everything is right before you start shooting this release, because you want to really make sure that you have good form. And from there, all you're going to have to do is you're going to come to full draw, and as you notice here, the button on this release, the trigger, is actually not a firing trigger, it's the safety. So if you hold this down, this release will not fire as you draw the bow, and you need to hold it down while you draw. So as you draw, you're going to hold your finger on the safety, and you're going to pull back, and you're going to come to your anchor position. And once you're in your anchor position and you get your pin on the target, then you're going to be able to let off your safety and then continue to just pull your elbow straight back until this release fires. It's going to give you a surprise, unanticipated shot, and in my opinion, that is the key to archery. Several times we get asked how Little Dud stays so composed in some of those trips that he's been on, and I can guarantee you that this release and training him and Sharon on the evolution is really what has allowed them to focus on making a good shot instead of focusing on the animal. This is a release that really draws your attention to a process, the process of shooting a perfect arrow, instead of maybe looking at the horns or getting worked up that it's a huge buck coming in. So if you're serious about changing your archery and getting away from target panic, then really look at this Carter evolution.
If you're looking to learn more about archery, be sure to tune in to Knock On Podcasts. Knock On Podcasts is a weekly talk show where I get in depth with shooting techniques, equipment setup, and also give you a no BS review on some of the latest industry gear. Knock On Podcasts are great for listening on a road trip or that dreaded ride into work. Expand your archery knowledge with the highest level of world-class information on the airwaves. Knock On Podcasts. When this giant Bruin came in, he obviously sensed that we were there and immediately turned and decided to express his dominance and come over to us. We were a little bit nervous at first, to be honest with you, but he quickly realized that we weren't there to threaten his lady, and when he went back in, that was all we needed to have the shot that we were looking for.
There you go.
Shot so many times. I was pulling and pulling, and then he'd move, so I'd pull my finger back on the safety. He's down. Looks like a perfect shot. Let's go find him.
Told you he's a giant.
He's nice there.
That is a giant. Oh my gosh, look at that pumpkin. Babe, hit it again. That is awesome. You're not gonna be able to pick that up, dude. Babe, that is
He's a nice looking bear too.
Are you kidding me?
Look at that.
See if you can get his paw up.
Put that there.
Wow. That's probably not happening.
This is the second time that I've been lucky enough to come up to northern Alberta to hunt black bears, and each time I was fortunate enough to take a huge world-class black bear. It's just been such a fun time. Little Dud was able to come with us this time, and he took 2 awesome bears, so he's just super excited. It's just such a great time to come with the family, and such a great trip for everyone to come and enjoy it after school's just been out a couple of weeks. So if you get the chance, come up, hunt black bears in northern Alberta with Red Willow Outfitters.
Lone Wolves Field Recon.
On this week's Field Recon, I actually want to talk about something that might seem incredibly simple, but honestly, I've seen this so many times, and that's people that don't fully understand the way a lot of these lock-ons or lock-on style stands work. Because there's been many times where You know, I'll give a buddy of mine a brand new stand to go out and put up in a tree, and then when I go there to get in the stand, I see a whole bunch of ratchet straps wrapped around that stand to hold it tight to the tree. And that's because they really don't know how to make this work. And the mistake that people are making is having the idea that you take your stand, you wrap your, you know, you're gonna wrap your pull strap around the tree and get it level where you want it, and then just try to pull this as tight as you possibly can so that it's in the tree. And what you'll find is if you do it that way, this thing is still gonna be loose. You know, that goes all the way back to the original chain lock-ons. You know, they don't work that way. When the platforms are down and you try to cinch that strap down tight or put the chain on tight, it's not gonna actually bind into the tree. What you wanna do is you actually wanna take your stand, you wanna have your platform up, okay? You're gonna wrap your strap around that tree. In this instance with the Lone Wolf, you're gonna put it around that Versa button. You're gonna make sure that your strap is straight around this tree, and you're gonna go ahead and pull it tight, just like you normally would. You're gonna pull that tight, and from there, you're gonna take your stand and you're gonna push it down, and you're gonna bite that bat wing into the back of that tree, okay? Now, as you lower this platform down, you're now gonna leverage this stand into the tree, and you force the back of that bat wing into the tree, which is gonna make this much, much tighter. You can't get it tight enough when all you do is pull it. You have to have your stand up, cinch the stand down, and then put the platform down. So the real nice thing about these Lone Wolves is that they actually have on the back of them what they call the bat wing. And this bat wing, as you'll see, there's 3 different cradles inside this. And what that does is that allows you to position a tree, whether it leans left, right, or straight, inside of each one of these slots so that you're able to still level your stand. Like this tree here, if this would have been our only tree that we would have had, and it has a slight lean in it that way, we would have wanted the tree to be on the right side of this bat wing, as you can see, so that your platform is actually level this way. The other nice thing about Lone Wolves is that not only can you adjust where you position that bat wing on a tree that's leaning left or right, you can also go ahead and raise your platform and move your platform down into one of 4 positions here to where you would be able to level that platform to where it's flat, just like what I show you right here. Also, the seat. You lift the seat, there's a simple screw right here. As you can see, this tree's leaning back, so I had to adjust that platform all the way so the platform's level. Now the seat's a little high, so all you have to do when you're in your stand is go ahead and raise that up and put your seat down until it's level. These stands are incredibly comfortable, they're incredibly quiet, and they fit dang near any tree. That's why I've used them for I don't know how many years. Just to show you quick, if this was my tree right here, and I was up here, tethered in, standing on my sticks, how I would put this in is I would hold it up here and realize I need to be on the right side of that bat wing because this is leaning. I'd go ahead and reach around, get my strap, put it around that Versa button, get this straight across, get the bat wing position in that position, pull that tight, cinch that down, take your bottom strap, put your bottom strap around, and you don't want to pull your bottom strap all the way tight. What you're going to want to do is you'll get your platform about 1/3 of the way down, then go ahead and put some pressure on that bottom strap. Make sure these are now tight, and you just cinch that sucker right down in there. Lower your seat. If you need to adjust your seat a little bit more to get it level, there you go. As you can see, this tree is not only leaning back, but it's also leaning to the side. And that quick, I'm able to get a stand that is rock solid right here on this tree. And again, The important thing about any type of lock-on that doesn't have a ratcheting strap, any type of cinch strap or a chain, you got to have that platform all the way up, get it as tight as you can, cinch that thing straight down, and then lower the platform, and that's what's going to go ahead and leverage that strap tight and bite the back of that right into that tree. Be safe. It's critical out there.